Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am Allison. I'm here at Quilt and Code in my design studio, and this is a special edition. We are showcasing the spring mini that we will be starting next week as a free YouTube series, starting on Thursday. And we will be going for about 6 weeks, 2 or 3 times a week, doing one little block at a time. So you can see that each one of these little blocks is just a 5.5-inch square. You can get all of the materials from us in a package. We have all the fabrics, all the threads you'll need, everything that you need, including your heat and bond or anything like that, in one location. And so Lainey's going to put up the link for that in just a second. And so today, what we are doing is just a little preview of this project. And so last week, we cut out all the pieces, and I have gone ahead, and I'll put my little camera over here so you can see. I have gone ahead and done all the applique using the threads that will be in the project. I am using Wonderful threads. These are brand new to my shop, and Wonderful Deco Bob. They're an 80 weight thread, so they're very, very thin and just absolutely stitch out. I knew I was going to love them when I saw them, and I'm in love. So I'm absolutely in love. Might be switching all over to Deco Bob for any applique that I do. So I'm super excited. It just gives that nice crisp quality, and you can see how I only used 5 different colors in here, but it just enhances all the different colors that are coming out. So I was trying to figure out, okay, what do I do with this guy? Okay. I'm a bag lady. I admit it. I love my bags. I have bags for everything, just like I have notebook covers for everything. I love bags. I love notebook covers. I love that. I just love stuff. So, and I need to have places to put stuff. Like I have 3 bags sitting down here that have different projects in there. And so that's how I keep my projects. I keep my projects in bags. I also keep, anyway, bags. Okay. My daughter is a bag lady as well. And it was so funny when she was tiny, like, 6 to 10, she would carry around like 4 different bags, besides the 4 to 5 different dolls that we were taking everywhere we went. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's got she seriously got this addiction with bags. I mean, I'm sure I had it back then too. But then we found a picture of me with my grandmother standing at the mailbox in Tenafly, New Jersey, and I had 4 different bags and a doll. And I must have been 6, 7 years old. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I wonder where my daughter comes from. Yep, now I know. So bags are not very hard to make and look professional. And so I am going to give you this really simple tutorial and I'm going to mix things up a little bit because I have a whole bunch I decided I didn't want to waste any more fabric. And so I said, you know what? I have enough for my lining. Now let's see what I can do on the back side of my bag to sort of just give it a little bit of pizzazz. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I haven't figured that out yet, but we'll figure that out together. And then I'm going to show you how to put it together. But first things first, I went ahead and got my handles ready to go because they're not hard, but they're time consuming. So I did want to go ahead and get those done. Okay. And so I have put on one side my love of fusible fleece. Okay. And then on the other side, I put some Decabond. You could use a regular interfacing. I like iron on. So I went ahead and, first of all, I cut a piece that was 4.5 inches by 26.5 inches. I'm saying that out loud so that I can hopefully write this down later for you and have a pattern for you on the website within a week or so. If you like the bag. If not, if it's a total bomb, then go and make it up on your own. Okay, here we go.
We have several bag patterns that you can purchase.
There are definitely bag patterns out there you could purchase. This is just going to be my own creation today that has come from making bags over, anyway. So I've chosen to do 4.5. This is a 4.5 width by a 26.5 long. Okay. And so I cut 2 pieces of black that are going to be my handles, 4.5, and then I cut them down to the 26.5. And that'll be a nice bag. Like, okay, so see this is bag right down here. This is a nice handle. It's gonna be a little bit longer than that handle right there. And these are the like size that I like because they fit all my projects just fine. And next 2 weeks from now, when I go, no, 3 weeks when I go to H&H, and H&H America is up in Rosemont, right? Is it Rosemont, Illinois? Then I will have this particular project to be able to. I'll have it on my arm so I can talk about it. All right, so I've put 1.25 inches of my fusible fleece and 1.25 inches of any other. I happen to use Decobond just because I pulled out a strip and went, oh, yes. It was the perfect size, so I went with it. So it happens to be the 1.5 inch by or 1.25 inch, sorry, 1.25 inch by the 26.5. I had to piece, and I didn't even bother to zigzag it or anything. I just put it right on there and ironed it on there. And then I just simply fold over the rest of this and then fold over again. Okay, so now I have a double, I mean, it's got some nice weight to it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch it's about 1/4 inch. I just like a nice little top stitch to hold everything in place, and it gives it a nice nice weight, and I don't have to sew anything closed. So that's when we pull over the sewing machine, that's what we're going to do. Okay, and then the second thing I want to do is I want to make an inside pocket. Okay, and so I mean, like, I've been working on this project for a year. This is a year-long, not this particular project, but the minis have been a year long in the making. And so I have a pink version that has a variety of pinks, and then I have the blue version that you see behind me. And so now that I'm coming to a close with this, I'm starting to use the leftover fabrics for other things, and this project is one of them. And so this particular piece, which is one of my favorites, which is why I have so much of it in my box, is because I think it ended up being like, it definitely ended up being one of my focus fabrics because I just loved this color so much. And so I'm going to use this as my inside pocket. What I've done is cut a piece. We're going to measure it right now because I think I just said, okay, I'm going to go with this. And it is we're going to say it's a 13.5 by, I don't know, 13.5 by, we'll go with 13.5 by 13. And I'm going to fold it in half just like that. Okay. And my hope is that it's going to fit across. Okay, see, now I've got to pull my little guy out here because I know my bag's got to go this way. So my hope is that it fits across just like that. And it does. So I think it's longer than that. It's got to be longer than that. So that's the point. So what I have done is I have folded this guy in half like this, and I'm actually going to fold it in half, right sides together. And I am going to turn it inside out. And so I am going to put pins. And if you watch me at all, you know that I like to start and stop with 2 pins because otherwise I'll just sew around, and yeah, I don't pay any attention to what I'm doing. I just sew. And so those 2 pins definitely help me to remember that, okay, that's good. You've sewn far enough. So I'm going to go ahead and, wait. I don't need to do that. Forgive me. I don't need to do that because it's going to go all the way across. So the only thing I need to do is stitch right across here. It's the other one I need to do the thing to. Okay. And then on the very front of my bag, or no, the back of my bag, so that is the inside pocket. I don't need to do anything because it's going to get sewn into the sides. There we go. Okay. So on the inside, this is where I'm another pocket on the outside. What I really wanted to do was to sort of have it, I wanted about, I'm going to show you what I want, and then I'm going to make it happen. I want it about this big, but I want to have a little bitty like rim right up there. So that way I can showcase both fabrics on the back of the bag. Okay. And this gives me a nice place to, I don't have my cell phone up here. If I do, it's off and I won't be able to find it. And so I want a place to put my cell phone while I'm at the show, or it's just a nice place to put stuff. And this is your pen, your little notebook, whatever you need on the outside of your bag, you can have it right there. Sometimes I put a little business card holder or something like that. Okay, and that is just so awesome when you're at these shows. So the first thing I'm going to do with this then is I'm going to sew this across like this. Oh, and then this right here is a 6-inch width. And the reason why that is, honestly, a lot of the reasons why I have cut things the way I have cut them is because I had that amount left over. And so I am using as much as I can of my leftover without, yeah, that's why. Okay. And so this, I was able to get 6 inches wide of both of these fabrics. Okay. So I want to stitch across here. Let me see if there's any other prep stuff I need to do. Okay. So let's think about the back of this bag. So here is the front. I'm going to turn it over because it's a little bit wider. I want it to be like long ways, and it's not how it is. And that's most bags are not how, that's not how it, I need to be able to see it. And so this is how wide the back of my bag is going to be. And these are like the scraps that I have. That is a nice big piece. I don't need that one. These are the scraps that I have left over. So you can sort of see how this one is not quite big enough here. And let's see. Oh, this is another big one. So that's my lining. And let's see. Okay, so, oh wait, I had these left over. Oh, look. How much of this do I have left over? So these were from my handles. I'm going to move this out of the way so I can iron. So I have these left over. So why, I think what I'll do is I'll stick, let's see, how much do I have here? I think I will stick a little strip of color in between. I had some nice long pieces and I really love like this pink. So this, I really love the pink, obviously. I ended up using a fat quarter when I was doing my project, but I love this pink. And so I wonder if putting a little strip of pink in there, and I have some of this blue left. I don't have enough of that. I have some of this left, but not nearly enough. So let's see, I have, ooh, ha ha ha. There we go. Okay, cool. So I think I'll do yellow and pink, and I'll just do a little strip across here. The nice thing about this is that I am going to be putting on the back and the front some fusible fleece just to sort of give it a little bit of, stiffness and firmness and that type of thing. And so this will help me out in giving me a place to just quilt some stitch in the ditch so that it will just hold that, give it a little bit of extra in the middle of it. So this will be really, really cool. Okay, so now I have to figure out how much I need and get all this ironed up really good. And I brought out the other iron because it has a little steam. And Lainey's like, yeah, that's why you wanted the other iron. The other one's good if I need small stuff, but when I want to really do some big stuff, I need to do it. Okay, so let's see, we have, I think I want like 1.5 strips. Because that's about, yeah, so I'm going to do, no, I better do 2-inch strips because I'm going to lose a 1/4 inch on the black and I'm going to lose a 1/4 inch on the color. So I'll probably end up with about, I don't know, we're going to go with 1.5 inches and hope that that worked right. And if not,
1.5 or 2 inch.
Thank you. 2 inch, right? 2 inch, thank you. Yes, we're doing this, yeah, live. Don't you love it when I do stuff live? Okay, so I have a small mat here. And so I'm gonna fold this in half and measure how big I had made this. Because at this point in time, I've forgotten all my numbers. And this is really good for me because then I can have that for a pattern later. Okay, so this is, I have done, oh no, wait, I gotta go this way. Okay, 16 and a half wide. And then if I go, no, I'm not even worried about that. So 16 and a half. So that's what I need here of this is 16 and a half. And so I am gonna pull this over just like that and turn my ruler like that. 16 and a half is what I need. And so if you have a smaller place in a smaller area, this is how I get away with it. I just fold my stuff in half and always cut, if you're cutting this direction from the fold, make sure you're lining that fold up really well with your edge. Okay, so for this one, I have my 16 and a half, and then I want to have 2 inches. So now I can use my ruler, and I am going to line up with my fold down here, and then I'm going to line up my 2 inches there. Why line on the fold? Always, always line on the fold. Because that fold, if that fold is like this, I will just demonstrate. I'm going to do it extremely weird. Okay, let's say your fold is like that, okay? And you measure from down here and you cut off of this line right here. When you open up that piece of fabric, it's going to go like this. And so always, always, always line up with your fold. And that way you will be, it will be straight. And don't ask me why. It just is. It's sort of like my husband and I have had this discussion before about my watch. I just can't understand how if I just turn my watch over, everything is fine and I can put my watch on. But if I turn it back over, then it's going to be upside down. I just don't understand that. I don't understand it. And I can't explain it to you either. So, okay. So here, I'm going to fold this in half because I know I need a huge piece right here. And that means I have to, because dingling that I am, went with my applique all over this silly fat quarter. And so I'm going to have to cut some off here in order to make it nice and straight. Okay, and so I am going to start by cutting from my fold right here. And I'm going to go off, it's fine. And go like that. Time for a new blade. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my 2 inches here. And now I can take this piece and I can cut to my 16 and a half. All right, I think we're ready to bring over the sewing machine and get some sewing done. We might get this bag done today and I might have to like do an update on how it's going. Okay, let's see. Move you out of the way, move you out of the way, move you out of the way. Drink a sip of coffee. I can still do that. I haven't had lunch yet. My husband's laughing in the background. Okay, I have not trimmed off my my edge yet. So I am going to go from the other end in order to put on my strips. And I better lay this out, and I'm going to lay them out right here. Otherwise, I'll mess this all up. I think I'm going to put the yellow up like that, and then I'll do another one. Okay, and then the other thing I have is my little pocket that's going to go smack dab in the middle of everything. And so here's my little pink strip. Right, and then I have my little pocket then I'm going to want to go, you know, like smack dab in the middle of everything right here. And so it's going to look like, I don't know, it's going to be somewhere in the middle. And so that'll give it a nice bit of color and a nice all sorts of stuff over there. All right, cool. And it just lets us piece this, and then we'll have a place to be able to quilt and all that stuff. Okay, so I have not, the last time I used my machine was earlier, and I was doing my applique stitch. So I had to switch my stitch, make sure that whenever you turn on your machine, that you're getting to the right stitch. I'll slow you down so you're quieter. Get to the right stitch, and because I am notorious for turning my machine on and just going to it. Next thing you know, I have to rip out a stripe because I had sewn at 3/8 of an inch instead of my 1/4 of an inch. Nothing new. Nothing new. So since I have all my stuff here, I can go ahead and chain piece a bit. So what I mean by chain piecing is that I'm simply going to bring in the next item to sew, and it saves a little bit of thread as I'm stitching. So I'm going to do this one right here, and I'll put you like this so that I know you're going in the right direction. Got off a little bit there. Might want to go back and fix that. It's also the first time the other thing that you kind of want to do when you first get started stitching is just make sure that your tensions are good and everything looks and feels okay.
Your mom agrees with you. She said she thinks you were born a bag lady. From the time you could walk, you had a bag.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I agree. I think I let it go for just a little bit. Okay, maybe not. But yeah, I'm definitely a bag lady. And I like how all of my bags are completely different. So I know which one's my music bag. I know which one is the bag that had my mini in it for the last year. I know which one's the bag that has all my hand stitching in it. I know which bag. Now, can I find said bags? Not always, but I know them and I know where they are. You know, I know which ones they are. And then I can also say, I need, you know, my hand stitching bag. It is the one with, you know, this on it. And then others can find it for me because I'm notorious for losing my stuff as well. You can ask my husband, poor guy. And he is luckily past that skill of finding my stuff onto my son. And so, you know, if I say I don't know what to do with my keys, my son will say they're on the table or they're on the dresser or they're on, I mean, they're like always in one of 3 places. So
Not so much about finding them. It's more about noticing when things are out of place.
yeah, I don't have that skill. And I don't understand why I can't put my silly keys back in my purse and I can't put my, what? No, it's not my keys. It's something else. My keys seem to be going back into the purse. Okay. I don't understand why I can't put my computer bag. Like I have a bag that my computer goes in before I put it into, I just turned this inside out. This is my pocket. I don't understand why I can't, I don't know. I can't seem to put the computer bag back into my computer, my bag. I guess it's my computer case. I can't put my computer sleeve back into the computer bag. I don't understand why I can't do that. And I keep saying to myself, if I would just do that, I wouldn't have these issues of trying to find my computer bag all the time, or my computer case all the time. Yeah, I'm not organized. People think I am, but I'm not organized. I mean, if you saw our shop, you would know none of us are organized. I mean, I do have like a way of doing things, but Okay, so I am now just stitching the one piece to the other, and then I'll be able to put on the bottom piece and I'll be ready to go. I'm not pinning anything. I like to just sort of stop and line up my raw edges as I go, but you notice I'm also taking it quite slow. If I were going to be going faster than this, I would definitely be pinning more, because then I don't have to worry about stopping every time to get all my pieces in order. So the last thing I want to do, oh, nope, I got two more things I want to do before I pull my little thing out again. Okay, so now I am going to do my straps. And so I've got it on 1/4 of an inch, and I think I like that. And so I'm going to start on the end that is open, and I don't need to worry about going backwards and forwards or anything like that at the beginning, because this is going to get stitched into the bag. And so let me see if I can bring this over here to you so that you can sort of see how I'm giving it 1/4 of an inch. And because I have that like 5/8 folded over underneath, it's perfect. It's going to hold everything in place. And this is something that sometimes I do pin, especially because, I mean, you can see everything's coming unraveled here. So having it pinned would allow me to go a little bit quicker. There we go. And then I just simply turn it around. And then I'm going to do the other side, because I am definitely a symmetrical person. I may not be organized, but I am symmetrical. So I want to make sure that it's the same on both sides. It just gives that and it's holding everything down. I mean, we've got that interfacing in there. So just like when I put that fusible on the back of it, just to give it a little bit more stiffness and, you know, I want to be able to hold that down. And so this is helping to hold it down on the other side as well.
You can tell it's got some stiffness because it's coming out of the back of the machine. It's not just flopping down like the other fabric.
So when I have my over-the-shoulder bag, that one I don't want to be as stiff. I want that one to be loosey-goosey. This one, I want to have a little bit of stiffness. So, you know, and lots of bags now are calling for, you know, 2 types of interfacing. I think, you know, like if you do any of the pink sand bags, all of them call for, you know, this double layer and 2 different types of interfacing on the inside. And that's one of the things that we here at QuiltNCode are trying to like make sure is included in all your kits, is some of these bags call for 3 or 4 different types of interfacing. The last thing you want to do is sit down at the sewing machine and not have everything that you need to be able to finish your project, especially interfacing, because when's the next time you're going to get to the quilt store in order to get, you know, 1/4 yard of whatever interfacing? I am notorious for using whatever I have on hand and making that work. But, you know, sometimes you just literally need the deco bond, or you really, really need the, you know, whatever. And if you don't have it, or you don't have enough, then it stops you in your tracks and you may not get back. That is a reason why some of us don't finish some of our projects. We're like, well, we'll just have to do that one later. And then we don't finish the project because we didn't have the tools and the supplies that we needed to do it. And then you move on to something else, and it might be years before you come back to that other project. Believe me, I know. I have a few of them sitting over there. I'm notorious because I'm designing as well, that I think, oh, you know what, I really kind of want something, blah, 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 to go here, and then I've got to design it. And so I do have a project today on the floor right now that's a log cabin. and that log cabin has it's designed, but that means I have to actually pull out the elements of which to do that. And yeah, so it'll get there. It'll definitely get there. All right, and so the last piece I need to do over here is this yellow to the black, the last black that we had. And then we'll trim everything and figure out the pockets and how we're gonna fix those pockets onto the bag. You know, so bags aren't hard. They just are, you know, sometimes they have a few pieces to them. All right, so I have some decisions to make. I want to know if I'm gonna like this on the back of the bag or not. So it's giving me the size, it's giving me the width and the length I need, but maybe it's best suited on the inside, at which point I figure out what else I'm gonna do on the back of that bag. I already had the pocket planned, so maybe I just want the pocket on the outside. Luckily, my linings and my inner and outer bag are the same, and so I can do what I want as I get there, okay? Let's see, I did stitch this, correct? No, I did not stitch this, so let's stitch this real quick. And then we're gonna figure out all these pockets and how I want to put all my stuff together. Okay, so I'm gonna bring over my ironing mat again, and let's just get everything ironed and figure out where we're going next. Okay, I'm gonna start with this guy. So this is my lining pocket, and I am gonna go ahead and open this up just like this. It is not necessary that it go open or anything like that, but I do wanna make sure it's gonna lie flat. So I'm gonna make sure that that seam is going in one direction. And I can sort of do that by just pulling it forward and doing its thing. And then this is where the little iron comes in handy, because this is a littler thing. And so I don't have to worry about. Okay, so then I can, now that I've gotten that nice end ironed, now I can simply make my pocket. And so here is my pocket. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a nice little top stitch across the top of this. And then I'm going to stitch it to my lining. Okay, so I really don't need to pin this, but I think I will, just so I don't have to iron again when I get there. Okay, handles are done. Let's iron you up and decide whether you're lining or you're, I think I'm going to go that way. So the rule of thumb is usually that you want to press toward the darker color. Sometimes the darker color doesn't want it. And so I do try to, like, okay, it feels like it's going to the inside, but on this particular, I'm going to make it go toward the darker color. So, you know, and then making sure that you stick with whatever it is you're doing is really important as well. Because when you go to, if I decide to use this as the back, and I want to be able to stitch in the ditch, and that's where making sure you have put those in a really, you know, you've been very careful about how you've pressed. That's when it's really important. Okay, and then we have this one. Okay, this is where I'm like, okay, how do I want to do this? So let's see here. We're going to go ahead and press you, and then I kind of want like, I just want a sliver. Like, I think that's perfect right there. Okay, so that means if I do that, I am just winging this as I go, guys. I want to make sure that I have an extra, you know, 1/4 of an inch there. And I have my little fold right there. So if this is 1.5 inches, then I want to go 1.5 inches past that fold right there. All right, and then let's see. This is a pocket that's going to hold a cell phone. So that's probably pretty good right there. See how like designers do it? I know I need to measure this so that I give you guys some numbers. All right, so my blue, I also need to give myself some numbers. So my blue is measuring at, the blue is measuring at 14 and the pink is measuring at 3. 14 and 3, Allison, when you go to write this pattern. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you together like this. And this one I actually am going to turn inside out. So I'm going to leave an opening on the side to turn this inside out. And I'm actually, I think, going to do it on the blue. I want to make sure that I'm completely in the blue. That way I don't have to worry about that crease at all. So stop there, Allison. Cool. Okay, so that's ready to go. Let's trim you up. All right, and let me get some stitching done. How am I doing on time, Lanny?
37 minutes.
I'm at 37 minutes? Okay, I can do this. Okay, so I'm gonna, for this, because this is gonna have a little bit of stress, I am gonna go up and down. I'm sorry, forwards and backwards a little bit. Just right here at this edge. And I'm gonna do the same thing when I get to my 2 pins, because this is where I'm gonna be turning inside out. So it'll definitely have a little bit of stress right there. And then I'm going to move over to here and go the rest of the way around. You were supposed to go backwards. And then I'm going to do my top stitching across here. That will just make it so that the, you know, pocket stays nice and together and stuff and doesn't. If you wanted a stiffer pocket, you could certainly put some interfacing in there. I think most bags, if you're using a commercial bag, are going to have a commercial bag pattern, are going to have some sort of stiffener in there. I just put lots of pockets and don't worry about it. Okay, so I want to turn this inside out and see if I can actually make this work the way I wanted it to work. It may not, because I think I want to fold it. I might have to go. All right, let's see if this is going to work. I don't think it's going to work. I think I'm going to end up with a 2-inch top, which will be fine. It's not going to work the way I wanted it to. I'm not ripping it out, guys. Not happening. But that's going to look really nice. So I'm cool with it. And then I'm going to figure out how to do it the other way that I wanted next time. Okay, so I am going to. So now that I have my pockets, I have got to make a decision as to whether that's the inside of the bag or the outside of the bag. And I think it's the inside of the bag. I think I've made the decision that it's the lining. And so the first thing I'm going to do is now I need to get, I'm not going to worry about this edge right here. All I'm going to do is iron that in just a second. What I want to do is get this onto my lining and then get my fusible onto the front and the back of my bag. And so that's going to take some time, and I don't want to waste your time. And so I promise that, let's see, am I here tomorrow? I have no idea, but I promise I will send out a video that shows you how I finished this bag. And I will also work on getting the dimensions and everything like that written down for you so that you can see how it ends. All right, and so this is going to be the pocket, just so you know what's happening on the next video. This is going to be the pocket. So this is my back of my bag. And so that's going to go, oh, look at how bright and cool and cheery that is. Okay, and then the front of the bag, of course, you know what the front of the bag is. And then this right here will be the lining. And so all I need to do, I can in fact do it for you. All I need to do for the lining here is I am going to stitch across here, and that will be the bottom of my pockets. And then I'm going to give myself several different pockets because I like a pen pocket, and I like a pocket for my sticky notes in, and I like a pocket for my phone, although that's on the flip side. Anyway, so I'm going to do that as well. So I promise I will finish that up, and then I will send that out so with a little shorter version, because I know some of this stuff can get long. So I will do that for you. And thank you so much for joining us. I promise I will have that out by Monday. And have a wonderful day. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, comment, all that other stuff that you do on social media, and especially the share part. And be looking for next Thursday, because next Thursday is when this whole new mini thing is going to start. And we'll be giving you all the details as the week progresses. So thanks for joining me. We will see you guys very, very soon.